Oh, we are live! How are we, lads? Come on, the footy! The footy's back! Guys, subscribe to the channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! The Cowboys win it! Woo! Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, episode number 37 for your Wednesday evening, 7:06 p.m. Hope you guys are all doing well. It is February 16, 2022, right here on youtube.com, and welcome back to the channel and the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast. And tonight I am joined by regular co-hosts ProEnzo, Vidz, and Sam REVILL. I'll start with you first, Lorenzo, mate. How the hell are you going, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
It's good to hear from you, mate. I hope you're doing well. Sam, mate, how the hell are you going, bro?
Yeah, someone turned the dial up on the temperature down here in Canberra today, mate. I'm friggin' boiling, but I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't wait to get stuck into it.
Some dead shit just mucking around with the shit, eh? Some complete flop just wants to muck with it. But hopefully it cools down for you guys down there in Canberra. It's probably cooler up here than it is down there, which is crazy to say. But it's good to have you on as always. And tonight I'm joined by special guest. He's a regular on the Super League tipping videos. CJ MOXLEY. CJ, mate, how you going, bro?
Oh, I'm great. A bit of a rough day today, but obviously good to get on the podcast and talk some footy.
Yeah, I was having a good laugh at your day when you were sending me those videos on Snapchat where you was talking about you mowing the lawn or something.
Yeah.
A lot of fun there. But as always, shout out to the live chat. Hope you guys are all doing extremely well on this beautiful night. But before I get into the podcast, make sure you guys go ahead and like the live stream, like the podcast as well, guys. Go and follow the Instagram page in the description below. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so via PayPal. PayPal link is in the description below. And also Super Chat is also active there as well. And also, if you want to become a member of the Nick from Australia membership, if you want to join and jump on board with that, it costs you $5 a month. The link for that is also in the description below. But, mate, lads, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got to talk about the trial games this weekend, the Super League games this weekend. There's a few things to get into tonight. But I reckon we should just get straight into it, fellas. And we're going to rip straight into topic number 5, where it's last Saturday night, as we all know, it was the All-Star game. And it was a great time for the NRL. The All-Star game was outstanding. Big crowd there at CommBank Stadium down there at Parramatta. I want to start with you first, Sam. What were your thoughts on the All-Star game on Saturday night, and where should they move the All-Star game for 2023?
Thanks, mate. I thought it was the best of all the Indigenous All-Stars game that's ever been, mate. I thought it was just such an excellent night of footy. And look, New Zealand would be my first option, but if it had to go somewhere else in Australia, somewhere in New South Wales, but sort of maybe Newcastle, somewhere like sort of regional, is where I'd probably pop it next year if it had to stay in Australia.
Newcastle do deserve it as well, because if you remember last year, they were promised the state of origin and then they had to move it because of COVID. So Newcastle is actually a really good shout. I don't mind that if it went to Newcastle. If you know as well, Newcastle is a very, very big Indigenous area, so the crowd would be massive, be absolutely massive. So I think Newcastle would be a very nice place if I can't go to New Zealand. What about you, ProEnzo, Vidz? What were your thoughts on the All-Star game on Saturday night, and where should they play the All-Star game in 2023? I don't know why I'm echoing.
Anyway. Yeah, look, it was good. You know, I enjoyed watching the game.
But those teams, and yeah, I think I'll have it at Suncorp Stadium next year just because it's a bigger stadium and obviously it's a great ground in general. But if COVID was to be good by next year, I think New Zealand would be a good choice actually as well. New Zealand for me as well.
I don't think Suncorp Stadium have ever hosted the Maori versus Indigenous All Stars. I know they would have hosted the World All Stars versus the Indigenous All Stars, but I don't think they've actually hosted the Maoris versus the Indigenous All Stars. I know they did it at Seabass a couple of years ago where I was at the game, and the vlog's still on the channel. You guys can go and check it out if you haven't already. But Suncorp would be pretty big, wouldn't it? Big atmosphere, big crowd would be in there. It'd be a nice place to go. I reckon Brisbane would be a good call as well. What about you, CJ? Where should they take the All-Star game next year? And what were your thoughts on the All-Star game? CJ, where should they take the All-Star game?
Yeah, look, I think the atmosphere was really great. Obviously, I was there. It was a very tight, close game, especially in the last 10 minutes. And for where it should go, obviously, I reckon if all the borders are clear up for 2023, it should go to Mount Smart in New Zealand. I think they deserve it. Most of our games being here in Australia, I think it's time for Maldives to get their team to go over there. But if it is still like this in Australia, I think it should go to the Gold Coast. I'd like to see it up at Seabass Super Stadium. I think it'd create a really great atmosphere up in the Gold Coast, and I'd like to see it up there.
If it goes back to the Gold Coast, I'll definitely be attending because I went to it a couple of years ago and it was outstanding. The atmosphere, I'll tell you right now, was outstanding. So I wouldn't be complaining if it went to Seabass. For me personally, obviously New Zealand would be the number one priority. Try and get it over there. The Mount Smart Stadium, I think it'd be huge over there. If you can't do it in New Zealand, it's going to sound a bit crazy, and some of you guys will probably go, "What the f?" But Perth wouldn't be bad. I mean, you want to grow the game. Taking the All-Star game to Perth wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't reckon. I think Perth have had Origin. They've had the Nines. Why not take the All-Star game to Perth? If you can't go to New Zealand, like if you can't go there because of the COVID and shit, why not go to Perth for a year and see how it is over there? I mean, if the Origin's going to work in Perth, if the Nines are going to work in Perth, why not take the All-Star game over to Perth? That would be good.
I think that's fair to expand the game out there with a game like that.
Well, they take Origin to Perth, they take it to Adelaide, they take it to Melbourne. I mean, the All-Star game would not be a bad idea to take it over to Perth. If you can't go to New Zealand, then I think Perth, Gold Coast, Brisbane, Newcastle would all be good. Even Canberra, Sam, where you live, Canberra wouldn't be a bad idea, would it either?
No, not at all, man. It would definitely sell out if it came down to Canberra. But yeah, I sort of I liken it to like a Super Bowl sort of style, just somewhere different from now on every year, man.
I just want to let you guys know, someone, I'm not sure which one of you are doing it, lads, but someone is echoing really bad. I don't know what's going on there, but
my laptop's not echoing, so
it ain't me. Someone's echoing, but anyway, if it keeps happening, I guess we'll see what happens. But it's definitely not me because I haven't moved a damn thing. But what is a place that you don't want to see the All-Star game go to? So if the All-Star game, what's a place where you don't want to see the All-Star game being played out? For me, I don't want to see it at ANZ Stadium, for example. I think that'd be terrible having it at ANZ Stadium. One, you wouldn't sell it out, and two, it just looked like shit on TV with not a big crowd there. So for me, I don't want to see the All-Star game go to ANZ Stadium or anything like that. What about you, Sam? One place you don't want the All-Star game to be at.
That's a really good option. ANZ Stadium would suck. Probably not Adelaide anytime in the next decade as well. But yeah, no, I'm right there with you on ANZ Stadium, mate. I don't think they'd even get 40,000 there if I'm being flat out with you.
Yeah, I'm with you. What about you, Lorenzo? What's the one venue that you don't want to see the All-Star game be played at in 2023?
I would have to agree, actually. I think ANZ's one I don't want to see it really played at. I think ANZ has enough, and I don't think the quality would be the same as well. So I think having it not there would be probably good as well, I think.
Yeah, don't go to ANZ Stadium. Andrew Rabdo, Peter Valandis, for fuck's sake, do not take the goddamn game to fucking Stadium Australia. Good God. What about you, CJ? What's one venue that you don't want to see the All-Star game be played at?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you guys with ANZ. Obviously, I cannot see it selling out in ANZ. Obviously, there'll be a lot of people there, but I just cannot see the atmosphere being good enough for an All-Stars game. And if I was to go for another place, I'd say Amy Park in Melbourne. Yeah, just like ANZ, I can't see it being the same quality down there or a good attendance for your crowd. So, I wouldn't have it in ANZ or Melbourne.
It wouldn't work in Melbourne too because of the AFL big fan base, and
I think it suits smaller grounds better, to be honest.
Yeah, I think taking them to these other grounds would be good as well. Like what Sam said about Newcastle, and you said about Seabus. I mean, even Canberra wouldn't be bad as well. I'd love to see it go to Perth, but obviously New Zealand would be the number one priority. Try and get it over to New Zealand next year. They deserve it. Hopefully it goes somewhere good, and hopefully it doesn't go to somewhere like Stadium Australia, where if it goes to Stadium Australia, it'll look like shit on TV. It'll look terrible. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on to topic number 4, fellas. Now, this is some big news here that come out. I believe it came out yesterday or the day before that. Cowboys young gun back rower Hilam Lukey has knocked back huge money from the Newcastle Knights to stay with the Cowboys. Mate, I'm pumped about this. I'm very happy about this. Showing some loyalty, which you don't see a lot in the game nowadays. Hilam Lukey is going to stay with the Cowboys, rejecting a big offer from Newcastle. I'll start with you first, Sam, as a Cowboys fan. How good is this for Cowboys fans that Hilam Lukey is staying with us and not going to Newcastle?
I called it about a week ago on this very show that Hilam Lukey is someone we need to invest in, and I personally see him as a captain of North Queensland in the next 5 years or so. So they've taken that first step. Newcastle Knights, fair dinkum. If you're a Knights fan watching, sorry, but get buggered. Stop coming up to Townsville and trying to pitch our bloody talent. It must be up to like 5. Ponga, Tuala, you want to go back further? Cost Jason, got Jake Clifford. There's been so much transaction from North Queensland to Newcastle. I love that Hilam Lukey has chosen loyalty over a big money contract, but it hasn't been made official yet. That's the thing.
I'm trying to remember, when's the last time the Cowboys bought a Newcastle Knights player?
Do you remember Corey Patterson?
Yeah, Patterson. I was a long time ago now.
Long time ago.
I can't even remember. So, to be honest, Newcastle, they took Ponga, Tuala, they took Clifford, they took a few others. I'll tell you what, I hope the Cowboys' next signing is a Newcastle Knights player now, just to get one back at them.
And they want Nenai as well.
Oh, fuck off, Newcastle. If there's anyone that I want to see, in the chat, Luke said it. Cowboys had Tarek Sims. Newcastle took Tarek Sims. Those assholes. The Newcastle Knights player that I would steal from them is David Clemmer. Like, I'd take him right now, or I'll take David Clemmer if he's available. I'll take Big Clem, but fucking hell, man, stop taking our players, Newcastle. You assholes, fuck off. Fuck me. Newcastle have got that whole area where all the talent comes from. Newcastle missed out on the likes of Greg Inglis, the Boyd Cordners, all these sort of players back in the day. And because they missed out on them, they're like, oh yeah, let's go get the best talent in Queensland. So fuck off, Newcastle Knights. Stay the fuck away. But ProEnzo Vidz, what are your thoughts on Hilam Lukey rejecting Newcastle's big offer to stay at the Cowboys? Do you think this is a good sign, showing some loyalty, or what?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good to see players showing a bit of loyalty these days because, like you said before, we don't see much of it. So, Cowboys keeping someone like Lukey would be good for the show. And, I think we saw a glimpse of games he played. He had some potential, looked very good on that edge for them. So, hopefully he gets the starting spot this year, which I assume he will. So, it's a good call by the Cowboys, and good to see Lukey show a bit of loyalty.
I'll tell you what, though. Speaking of loyal players, I've got to say the most loyal NRL player in the comp would have to be Alex Johnson. If you remember the other year when he was off contract, he was offered $800,000 to go elsewhere, and he said no. I don't even think he's on $500,000 at South. I don't even know what he's on at South, but he he sacrificed a lot of money elsewhere to stay at the Bunnies, and Lukey's doing the same, really. So it's good to see some loyalty in the game. But what about you, CJ? How good is this for Cowboys fans for Lukey to stay?
It's very good for Cowboys fans. Obviously, seeing a young talent. I believe he is from the North Queensland region. Correct me if I am wrong. It is good to see someone like Harlem Lukey, who is an exciting prospect, stay loyal at the Cowboys. Rejecting big money from Newcastle, that'd be hard to turn down. But obviously, he sees something at the Cowboys. He sees future success there. So, it's very good of him. And I think Cowboys fans should be all and excited for the future of Harlem Lukey.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I'm just reading the chat. Damien from Newcastle, if they want to come, it's their choice, but who wouldn't? We have some nice beaches and nice restaurants down in Newcastle. You probably do. I can't disagree with you there. You probably have some nice stuff in Newcastle. I've never been to Newcastle, so I can't really comment, but
it's a great area.
You probably have a lot of good things down there in Newey. All right, let's move on to topic number 3, fellas. Now, I started pissing myself laughing at some of these when I was listening to these the other day. Fox League's prediction. So if you guys didn't see, the Fox League launch was on. I believe it was yesterday. Some of the experts there were giving out some 2022 predictions. Some of them were just absolutely hilarious. Some of them were just, I thought they were joking, but some of them they're actually being serious. I'll start with the obvious one that I started laughing about. Benji Marshall said Luke Brooks will be the Dally M halfback of the year in 2022. Oh, God. Sam, what do you think about that?
Oh, mate, it's definitely a one-eyed West Tigers supporter call, isn't it, man? With Jackson Hastings and Adam Dewey around him, mate, I don't see him lifting up to that level. He could be a top 10 Dally M point scorer. I don't see him winning the Dally M, unfortunately, mate.
When I saw that post, I was just not going to work, and I'm going, what in the fuck am I listening to here? I know Benji works with the Tigers. I know he works with them and shit, but fuck me. That was diabolical, wasn't it? Shocking. Shocking. I mean, fuck me, what's next? Ash Taylor by the ear or something. What's next? Like, what is next on this fucking list? Man. Jesus. CJ, what were your thoughts on this whole Luke Brooks Dally M halfback of the year from Benji?
Honestly, I'd rather say Shannon Boyd comes out of retirement and win the Dally M, honestly. Yeah, look, Luke Brooks winning the Dally M is just as realistic as that. Yeah, look, I can see some sort of potential in Luke Brooks, but Dally M potential, no way. It's just a bias call from Benji Marshall. If Luke Brooks is to win the Dally M, then that'd just be a magical call, but no way. I disagree 100%. No Dally M for Luke Brooks. I don't think he will come close at all.
If Luke Brooks wins the Dally M this year, I will literally go at the front of my house and I would jump in the bush in my undies. If he wins the Dally M this year, I fucking guarantee it. I'll do a YouTube live. I'll set the camera out the front, and then I will literally get in my underwear and I will dive into the bush. That's what I will do if that happens.
A lot of pressure on Brooks now.
There ain't no way in the world Luke Brooks is winning Dally M. He'd be lucky to be in the top 10. He wouldn't even be in the top 20. No fucking way. What about you, ProEnzo? Vidz? I know you're not a big fan of the Tigers, but what were your thoughts on this whole thing, this comment from Benji Marshall, Luke Brooks Dally M halfback of the year?
Yeah, I can believe it's stupid. He won't go anywhere near that. He's a proven failure, so if you're a proven failure, you don't do anything like that. Unfortunately. So, and I also will add that I don't think Luke Brooks could even lead a New South Wales Cup team to a top 8 spot. Honestly, that's how bad I really think he is. I never liked him, to be fair. So, yeah, it's a bad call. Very bad call.
Luke Brooks wouldn't even go well in the Super League. He wouldn't even go well in that competition.
Oh, he could be all right. He could go well.
Yeah, if he went to Wakefield.
What's he going to do? He's going to sign for Toulouse and play like shit?
Good luck. He'll sign for Toulouse and take him to 11th spot.
They'll go from 12 to 11th. Yeah, it'd be fantastic, won't it? Oh, God. Luke Brooks. Jesus Christ. Good luck. All right, some of the other ones. Now, Matty Johns. Matty Johns is a well-respected, in the media. He's the king of Fox League. He is he's a funny cunt in general. I think he's hilarious. I love Matty Johns. I can't find anything. I can't hate on Matty Johns. There's nothing I can hate about him. He's just an out and out legend. Matty Johns reckons the Sharks could be a smoky for the top 4 this year. I tend to agree with this. I think the Sharks could be a chance for the top 4, maybe if they get it right. Start with you, Sam. What was your thoughts on Matthew Johns' take on the Sharks smoky for top 4?
Yeah, it's sort of akin to my thinking. We did see Hines, Will Kennedy, and Braden Trindle play together the other night in the Indigenous squad, and they weren't overly impressive, were they, mate? Albeit it's the first time they've ever linked up together. Yeah. So there's a fair bit of work, and I don't blame anyone for saying they could be the most overhyped side coming into the 2022 season. But personally, I do think that they are a smoky of making the top 4.
I agree. What about you, ProEnzo? Vidz? Are the Sharks a top 4 smoky this year? What do you reckon?
I don't think this year they're a smoky. Before I made my ladder predictions, I was like, maybe they could be, but I just look at it more and I think, having Moylan and Hyde halves is a bit of a concern for me because they're both very similar players. And I guess as well, there's just other teams in there that I think are a bit better than the Sharks to being near the top 4. That's not to say Sharks are bad or anything, but I just think there's other teams above them at the moment. But next year they could be up there. I think I will say that next year, not this year.
The only concern I have with the Sharks this year is if Braden Trindle went down with an injury, I don't know how the Sharks would cover that. Moylan is not a halfback. Neither is Hines. Connor Tracy's can play in the halves, but he's more of an outside back nowadays, isn't he, Connor Tracy? And I guess you've got Luke Metcalf still there, who could be the smoky coming in. But I think they are the top 4 smoky, the Sharks. I really do. I question if the spine's ready. I don't know if the spine's ready. But what about you, CJ? Are the Sharks a top 4 smoky this year?
If there were a top 4 smoky, they are the team. Obviously, you got, quality signings in Nico Hines, Cameron McInnes, and Dale Finucane. And, they got Craig Fitzgibbon, who served really well under Trent Robinson at Eastern Suburbs.
Done his apprenticeship for a long time, hasn't he?
Yep. And, look, I think if there is a team to contend for the top 4 as a smoky, it is them. But teams like Sydney Roosters, Melbourne Storm, Panthers, and Manly, probably going to be the top 4 and teams in front of them. But I think they could sneak in somehow if it all goes right for them. But my only concern is the inexperience in Craig Fitzgibbon at first grade level.
I'll tell you what, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. This competition this year is so fucking open. Couple years ago, Canberra missed the top 8. The next year they finished 4th. And I think Penrith did the same thing the other year as well. 2019, they missed out on the finals. And then 2020, they end up coming in. Well, they come first. So this competition this year is so wide open. If Sharks make the top 4, I wouldn't be surprised because I'm high on the Sharks as well. I reckon they will make the 8 this year. I think they're in for a really good season. Top 4, don't know. I think it's a good call for Matty Johns, but we'll have to wait and see how the Sharks go. What other predictions did they have? Greg Alexander reckons Panthers back-to-back. I think that's a little bit biased from Brandy, but in all seriousness, fellas, can the Panthers go back-to-back this year? I'll start with you first, CJ. Can the Panthers go back-to-back?
As much as I don't want them to, I won't be surprised if they do come into that sort of contention. They've got the experience there now, being in 2 consecutive grand finals. Despite losing Burden and Capewell, they still got that spine of Coruscant, Edwards, Cleary, and Luai. And players like Crichton and To'o. They can go back-to-back, in my opinion, but I don't think they will.
All right, good call. What about you, ProEnzo? Vidz? Can the Panthers go back-to-back?
They can, they really can, but I think this year there might be a little bit, it might be that step backwards from making the premiership, winning them, because they've lost more, they've lost a bit of quality, so it would take a bit off and sort of gel, but they can, but I don't think so personally.
What about you, Sam? Can they go back-to-back?
Yeah, I do think they can. I think the call from Brandy Alexander of being biased and Benji Marshall back in their own team. I mean, how many times have I said Cowboys are going to make the grand final this year? So you just got to back your own team, don't you? But I do see Penrith as a chance to make the grand final, but I don't see them winning the minor premiership. Put it that way.
I don't know if they can go back to back. I think they're going to be. They're definitely a contender. They're definitely a top 4 team. The only question I have is only one team has gone back to back since 92-93, and that was the Roosters in 18-19. The question I have with the Panthers is, are the Panthers capable? Do they have enough quality now to do it? Because they lost Momorowski, they lost Burton. They were their centers last year. They lost Capewell. They lost who else they lose? They're losing Kickout next year. They're losing Coruscant next year. Burton as well. If the Panthers are going to go back to back, then they have to win it this year, because next year looks a bit more of a rebuilding year for them, especially with the players that they're losing. So if they're going to go back to back, then they're going to be up against it this year, because I don't think Penrith should be the favourites this year, in my opinion. They'll be right up there, and I wouldn't be surprised. They've made the last 2 grand finals for a reason, but we all saw last year that they didn't lose the game till about mid-year anyway. So I think they're a bit more beatable this year than what they were last year, because I think obviously losing a bit of quality, but they're going to be hard to beat, man. They are the benchmark. They are the team to beat, but I think the Storm and the Roosters are probably the favourites to start the year. I don't think Penrith should be favourites, but I reckon they can go back to back. But at the moment, I'm not tipping them. I don't think they will, but would not be surprised if they're thereabouts again.
Yep.
Any other predictions from Fox League before we move on?
There was a comment fleetingly from Matthew Johns, and this is towards CJ, mate. Matty Johns really questioned Jason Demetrio. And the South Sydney Rabbitohs top 8 coach. That's what Matty Johns said.
Yeah, look, I think Jason Demetrio is going to prove a lot of people wrong. Just put it as that.
Yep.
I think Demetrio will do well, but the problem I have with is everyone's going to get into a panic mode with Souths, because their first 4 games are very difficult. I think they play Brisbane first up at Brizzy, then they play Melbourne and Melbourne.
Yeah,
I think that's 2 really tough games. Then I think they play the Roosters, and then I think they play
Penrith,
and then so that is a nightmare first 4 rounds. I mean, obviously the Bulldogs have got the hardest draw from round 1 to round 12, but the first 4 rounds of the season, Souths have got a draw from hell. So I wouldn't judge Souths too much early. Like with all due respect, if Souths go 0-4. I still reckon they make the 8. I still reckon they'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be scared.
I'm putting it out there. I think they got a really hard draw, and playing Brisbane and Melbourne the first 2 games without Latrell Mitchell's going to hurt as well. But I think Souths will be okay. Tough draw to start the year, but keen to see how they go this year. Now, topic number 2. Just breaking news, literally about half an hour ago, I reckon now, probably 40 minutes ago. The Dragons have extended Anthony Griffin's contract. Anthony Griffin is the Dragons head coach, by the way, in case people don't know. Dragons head coach Anthony Griffin has extended his deal with the Dragons to the end of 2023. I'm a little bit surprised that the Dragons didn't do this after the first couple of rounds, but I guess they wanted to get it out of the way early before the season kicks off, which I can understand. I'll start with you first, Sam. Do you think this is a good move from the Dragons to re-sign Griffin for an extra year, I guess you could say?
Over the off-season, mate, I think you, Lorenzo, and I, CJ as well, I think the general consensus from the public is that Anthony Griffin did a very good job last year. It was derailed because of you-know-what.
Barbecue man.
And I think it's a great sign. I've always had a rap on Anthony Griffin as well. I understand why it would be one more season. Yeah, I think it's a great step in the right direction for St. George Illawarra.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a great move from the Dragons. And the best part about it is get it done before the season starts. Get it done now. Now, from what I understand, Griffin's now signed for an extra year. They want to get Jack Bird's contract done before the season starts, so that'll be the next news coming out. From what I understand, within the next week, Jack Bird will re-sign with the Dragons, so that'll probably be announced by next week sometime, maybe the end of the week. But the Dragons are playing it smart, getting all this contract shit out of the way before the season starts. Very smart from them. But ProEnzo, Vidz, what are your thoughts on the Dragons re-signing Anthony Griffin till the end of 2023?
Yeah, good. I think he's the man to take forward. He's rebuilding them pretty well. Things they've made of late. So, good choice. I think that's good for the Dragons, and see how it goes this year.
Yeah. What about you, CJ? Do you agree with this decision from the Dragons?
I think it's a phenomenal decision by St. George here. Anthony Griffin, not too long ago, he took Penrith to top 4 in 2018, I believe, before that falling out with Gus Gould. And I think he's going to be the coach to take Dragons back into the finals spot. They were so close last year until that incident, but it's a really good resign from the Dragons. I think Anthony Griffin's a phenomenal coach, and he'll take Dragons back into finals footy in 2022, I believe.
I've said this 1,000 trillion times. I'm going to say it one more time. If the barbecue doesn't happen, the Dragons, all they have to do is win 2 games out of the last 10. All they have to do is win 2 games, and they make the 8. If the barbecue doesn't happen, they easily win 2 games. So, and if the Dragons made the 8 last year, everyone's talking about Anthony Griffin Coach of the Year. So, I think it's a great move from the Dragons to re-sign Anthony Griffin. I think Anthony Griffin's a very good coach. He's an experienced coach. He's also he's kept up with the game, because you see some of the coaches nowadays, they get the sack and they don't watch the footy. They don't fucking keep an eye on it. Well, when Anthony Griffin wasn't coaching, he was still working on the radio, still watching the game, learning how to adapt to the new rules and stuff. So Anthony Griffin has evolved as the game has changed as well. So I think this is brilliant from the Dragons. I think this is a very smart decision. I think Griffin's the man to get them to the next level. So great decision from the Dragons to re-sign Griffin to the end of 2023. Now, topic number 1. I'm looking forward to this, boys. We all know it. This weekend, the NRL trials are happening. All the games are on Fox League and on KO. Every single one of them is going to be fantastic. I'll be live streaming a lot of them. I'm not gonna do all the games. I'll do most of them, but I won't be doing all of them. I want to start with you first, Sam. Obviously, the Cowboys, we play the Bunnies. What do you expect to see in the trials this weekend, especially from the Cowboys?
A 50-plus points victory to North Queensland up there in Cairns, mate. That's what I expect to see. Hey, CJ. No, so I've still got to do a little bit more research into the side because there are a dozen fresh faces. But there's a gentleman named Jake Burke and a gentleman named Tom Chester, I believe that's his name, who shined. And that's who Todd Payton said that's who's going to get a crack for us. And I hope to see good things from Riley Price as well, the son of Stephen Price. Yes. He's been spoken about for 18 months or 2 years just about, mate. So if he gets enough time and he's starting at lock, I cannot wait to see these young fellas for the Cowboys or young guns go around for North Queensland this weekend, mate.
Well, hopefully Riley Price can develop and fuck off McLean and take his spot. That's what I'm hoping happens. That's what I'm hoping happens. But, mate, I'm keen to see how we go this weekend in the trials. And what I'm expecting to see is I'm looking forward to seeing all of the young talent that I've never heard of in my entire life, watching them play and seeing what they've got, if they can handle the NRL. It's only a trial game, really, but can these young players really step up and be really good young players, good young men? So I'm really keen to see how it all goes about. But CJ, what do you expect to see in the NRL trial games this weekend?
I expect a win first and foremost.
Sure.
Also, I want to elaborate on your lads' points. Young guns, for South Sydney especially, such as Lachlan Ilias. He's going to be the halfback. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Josiah Caparini come in. Zane Bajorak, all these young guns. I want to say for South, keep an eye on Josiah Caparini. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I think he's going to be very outstanding these next few weeks in the trials. I'm very interested to see how every team's players goes, especially the young guns and the pressure they can hold in a trial game. And, we see a lot of, diamonds like Reece Walsh, Selwyn Cobbo, for example, in trial games. And I think we can find our next one this year.
Lachlan Ilias definitely has a point to prove in the trials. I'll tell you that much. I'm interested to see how he goes because
Sure does.
from what I understand, he will be the starting halfback for the Bunnies. So
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how he goes in the trials. But what about you, ProEnzo Vidz? What are you expecting to see in the trial games this weekend?
Yeah, well, your first play with the Tigers. I think, depends who we're playing. I think we can get a win. Just hopefully it's not the same result as last year, obviously. But yeah, also, I think just as some of the rookies, I think we're going to see plenty of rookies play for many teams this week. So hopefully there's a couple of names we don't know and they can, hopefully sort of go into as NRL stars in the future. For Manly, there's someone I think we've all heard of him by now, or maybe we haven't quite yet. Someone called Tolu Kula. Apparently, got a lot of speed and he's faster than Saab. Apparently, the race of training and Kula beat him. So, yeah, I think that's one guy I'm going to have to keep an eye on when he plays on Friday because he's going to play fullback. So, should be good.
I'm looking forward to seeing how the Cowboys go. And Sam, I want your take on this. I didn't know the Cowboys still had Cole Laybutt there and Jaden Hodges and Patrick Kafusi. I didn't even know they were still around.
Yeah, I saw the name Laybutt and I just went into meltdown mode. No, I knew that he was still on the books, but it was a nice surprise to see him on the team list for this weekend, man, for sure.
It's a throwback, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how Dejan Assi goes for us. I'm keen to see how he goes at halfback.
Yeah, definitely.
Brandon Elliott in the centers as well. That'll be very interesting to see how that goes about as well because I thought he might have been on the wing, but going to try him in the centers, so why not? Try him out. That's what the trials are for. But, all right. They're all the topics out of the way, lads. Let's get into let's go to the trial games. Actually, you know what?
Yep.
Let's do some tips for the trial games this weekend. And let's give it a little preview. So why not? We've got 8 games to get into, 8 trial games. Let's see if we can get 8 from 8 in the trial games. It's impossible to get 8 from 8 in the NRL because we all know how friggin' unpredictable it is. You get some teams winning from absolute nowhere sometimes. But, all right, NRL trial games preview week 1 for the trial games. And we'll go to the first one, which is Friday night, 6 p.m. Raiders and the Roosters. I believe both these games I think this game's at Leichhardt Oval. Raiders and Roosters. I'll start with you first, Sam. Who wins this game and by how much?
I'll back Canberra Raiders to win, and it'd be interesting to see Xavier Savage play at fullback, bro. That's definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing. And you've got Sam Williams at halfback and Brad Schneider in at 5'8" as well. And Adam Elliott also makes his Raiders debut.
Adam
as well.
Idiot.
So that would be interesting. I'm going to tip the Canberra Raiders to win 1-12. And I'll back Xavier Savage to score at any time try.
Oh, nice. What about you, CJ? Raiders or Roosters? Who wins this trial game on Friday night?
I'm tipping the boys from the nation's capital, the Canberra Raiders. I'm going to go 1-12 as well. I think, the Raiders, they've named a very solid side. They have, Jared Croker and obviously Sam Williams and Brad Schneider in the halves. And a kid that I'll tell you to look out for is Trey Mooney. Trey Mooney from Canberra. That's the player that I'll be watching along with Xavier Savage. They also got Charles and Nickel Clockside as that utility on the 14. So I think they've named a very solid side, and I believe that they'll get the job done on the Friday.
Yeah. What about you, ProEnzo Vidz? Raiders and Roosters. Give us a margin. Who wins this game on Friday night?
Well, I'll only take Raiders to win because Roosters and I imagine when they're in their side, there's not going to be many of their big name players. So I'll play Canberra 1-12, and I think Jared Croker might score a try. So yeah, that's my tip. I'm
going to go the Roosters, boys. You guys are all going Raiders. I'm going the Roosters. I think the Roosters will win. I think that their young talent is very good. I don't even know who's in the Roosters team, to be honest. I've got literally no idea. I don't even know who's fucking playing for the Roosters. I'll go Roosters by 10. Is Kevin Nagama playing, boys?
No idea, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to go Kevin Nagama to score if he plays. I'm going Roosters by 10. Roosters to win. You boys are all going Canberra. I'll go the Chooks by 10. I go with a score. All right, they have a trial game on Friday night, which is at 8 o'clock. And I believe it's Leichhardt Oval as well. I think it's a double header from memory.
Yep.
It's the Tigers up against Manly. West Tigers versus Manly Seagulls. Sam, what do you recommend this one? Who wins this one and by how much?
Now, lads, if you want to correct me, please feel free to do so. At the moment, both Wests and Manly don't have their squads out. That's just from NRL.com. So it's hard to predict. You certainly hope that Jackson Hastings gets a run. And for Manly, I'm not expecting any of the Travojeviches to play, maybe even not even DCE. And it's an interesting point that Lorenzo brought up a couple of minutes ago that Manly lost so heavily at Leichhardt last year, and it's now sort of reset mode because they don't want to start as bad as what they did last year. Manly Seagulls, they want to be better, and I'll tip Manly Seagulls to pit the West Tigers, bro.
By how much?
I'll go 13 plus actually.
Oh,
I'll go 13 plus.
Ouch! Tigers fans are fuming.
Yeah.
CJ, Tigers, Manly, and by how much?
That's good.
I am going with Manly Warringah 1-12. My play to watch is Tolutau Kula, and I believe Ben Trebojevic will be playing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I've got no idea.
I think Manly are going to want to make a statement against Tigers. Obviously last year, Sam, I'll elaborate on your point, how they lost heavily at Leichhardt. I think they'd want to come back and reverse that. And I'm going to go with Manly 1-12. I think their youth's going to be too good.
ProEnzo, do I even need to ask who the hell you're tipping here? Tigers and Manly?
You don't really have to, but I just checking it out now, and they've got the Manly teams have named a couple of names already here. So it looks like Turbo's playing, Garrick's playing forward, and Sherry Evans. They've all been named to play actually. So I think they'll win. So man, 13 plus.
Named their first grade side.
Why is Tom playing?
It's weird, mate.
Why?
Look, I think he might play 20 minutes. He might play 20 minutes, and that's it, probably.
I was going to go the Tigers because they were always good at Leichhardt, especially in the trials. But I'm going to go Manly now if Tom's playing. I'm going to go Manly 1-12 and Tom to score. Why not? Tom to score. It's either he'll score a try or he'll have a try assist or something.
I think he'll score a double.
I'm going Manly 1-12. It should be an interesting game, that one. All right, let's go to the next trial game. Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Storm and the Warriors. I think this is in Melbourne somewhere. I'm not sure where. I think it was Casey Fields from what I read. Melbourne, New Zealand. Give us, Sam, margin, and who wins this one? By how much?
Yeah, man, both these sides are strong. I'm going to tip Melbourne Storm. The Warriors do have Ash Taylor and Cody Nicolima as their halves pairing this weekend. Reece Walsh is also playing as well, so he's another one that's been suspended by the NRL, but he's free to play a trial. But no, I'll tip Melbourne Storm, and this game is it's also a charity match to raise funds for the people affected in Tonga as well. But I'm going to tip Melbourne Storm. 13 plus.
I'll tell you what, boys. If Ash Taylor's playing, I'm going to Storm. Storm by 50 then. You might as well get the coffin out for the Warriors. They're going to get absolutely destroyed if Ash Taylor's playing. Storm by 50, I'm going. What about you, TJ?
I'm going for Melbourne by 12 points. Ash Taylor will be the halfback from my understanding.
Well, they're fucked.
Warriors. They have also named Cameron Munster, Brendan Smith, and they've named Munster and Smith, so they'll play about 10-15 minutes, I reckon. I'm going Storm by 12. I think their youth is much better than the Warriors, so I'm going to go for Melbourne.
Lorenzo, Melbourne or New Zealand, and by how much?
Melbourne will have the stronger squad, so I'll tip Melbourne to win 13 plus in the end, I think.
Yeah, it won't be pretty. Melbourne will have an easy win on Saturday afternoon. If you want to have a nice afternoon nap on Saturday afternoon, boy, I think the Melbourne New Zealand Warriors trial game is the one for you. And looking forward to seeing Ash Taylor have about 5 errors, 6 missed tackles, 4 kicks out in the full, maybe a 7 tackle set where it goes dead. Maybe he'll throw an intercept. Who knows? I think it'll be a bloodbath. Melbourne, easy. All right, let's go to the next one. Saturday night, 6 p.m. I can't wait for this. Rabbitohs, Cowboys. I believe it was in Cairns somewhere. I tell you what, can't wait for this. I'll be live reacting to this game on the YouTube channel on Saturday night. Sam, I don't even need to ask you here. South or the Cowboys, bro? And by how much?
Tipping North Queensland, 1-12 up there at Barlow Park, and one of the Fijian rugby sevens Olympic gold medalists will be lining up on the wing. His name is Iosefo Balawairiki, so keep an eye out for him, and I'll get him to score a try as well.
What about you, CJ? I don't even need to ask you, do I? South or Cowboys?
Glory to South Sydney and Cairns, mate. I'm going South by 16 points. We're going to pile points on you boys, all right? For the player for me to watch from the Cowboys, I reckon Steve Price's son, Riley Price, I think he's going to do well for you. For me, for our boys, I've said it. I think Davey Mawao, I can't pronounce his name, but and Shaq Mitchell will also be playing, so I'm really intrigued to see how that team goes. A lot of our young guns, so yeah, hoping for the Bunnies to get up, eh?
Well, I have to do it. I have to go there. Cowboys by 20 points. We will win.
Yeah.
We will win at 13 plus.
Bunnies 13 plus, mate.
With all due respect, it's the only time that we ever will beat South by 20. Because if we had our full team, we would probably lose by 20 against South, if I'm being honest. But Cowboys by 20. Lorenzo, who do you reckon wins this one, mate? Rabbitohs or Cowboys in the trials?
The neutral fan.
Look, yeah, neutral fan. That's right. I'll tip South. I think South have got a bit better, I think. I'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I'll tip South on last Saturday.
Rude.
I fucking knew Lorenzo was going to tip South because me and Sam are on the Cowboys and Lorenzo's like, oh, well, CJ's outnumbered, so I'm just going to jump with CJ and go.
I'm going to be outnumbered as well tomorrow.
Yeah. Cowboys by 20.
I'll be honest.
All right, let's go to the other game on Saturday night, the main event on Saturday night, 8 p.m. The Titans up against the Broncos. Who wins this one and by how much, Sam?
So as of 7:30, mate, the Titans squad hasn't been announced. I'm happy to get corrected as well. The Broncos squad has been announced, obviously. Katoni Staggs, Selwyn Cobbo, Brenko Lee, Corey Oates, Billy Walters, and Albert Kelly. That's a pretty strong spine with David Mead at fullback as well.
Passing capable as well.
And Kurt, I just saw that too, bro. I'm going to tip. Look, just because I haven't seen the Titans squad, it hasn't been announced yet. I'm going to tip Brisbane Broncos to win 1-12, and I'll back Payne Haas to score a try.
Yeah. What about you, CJ? Titans, Broncos. Give us a tip or give us a margin. Who wins this one?
I'm going Broncos 13 plus by 22. Too much stack quality in that side for the likes of Staggs, Haas, and Capewell. I do believe that Adam Reynolds was supposed to play this week, but obviously something I don't know what happened, but he won't be playing this week. I'm going Broncos 20 by 22. I think they're absolutely going to give it to the Titans.
I'm going to go the Broncos by an unusual margin. Broncos by 19 points. Why not? Maybe a field goal. Why the hell not? I think in the trial games, you need to practice your field goals because in the season, you never know when you're going to need one, and I think the trials are good for it. So Broncos by 19 points. Titans will get clapped. ProEnzo, who wins this one and by how much?
I'll tip Broncos win 13 plus. I just think they'll be the better side than what Gold Coast will do entering up in the day. So Broncos for me to win.
Yep. All right, let's go to the next one, which was on Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. Beautiful afternoon this one should be. The Sharks up against the Panthers. I don't even know who's playing for either side here, but what about you, Sam? Who wins this one between Cronulla and Penrith?
Yeah, no, as of 7:30, once again, both squads have not been announced. Happy to be corrected. Yeah, it's really hard to say, man. Really hard to say. But I'll tip the Premiers, Penrith Panthers, to get the job done against the Sharkies.
What about you, CJ? Who wins this one and by how much?
The black, white, and blue boys from Cronulla. I'm tipping the Sharkies. I'm going to Sharkies by 4. It'll be incredibly close. I have no idea who's been named, but from my understanding, I think Braden Trindle will be playing in that game. And yeah, I'm going to go Sharks by 4 because I don't know who's been named.
I'm going to go the Panthers by 10, only because they have probably the best young talent in the NRL, especially in that Penrith area. They pull plays out from anywhere. So I'm going to go Penrith by 10. I reckon Charlie Staines will score a try if he's playing. I'm going to go the Panthers by 10. What about you, ProEnzo? Who wins this one and by how much?
I'll tip Panthers to win 1-12, and I think if he's playing, Isaac Tago, the young centre, might get a try if he plays. So as well.
Yeah, should be a very entertaining game, that one on Sunday afternoon. Now let's go to the other one, Sunday night, 6 p.m. The Eels and the Dragons. I believe this game's in Sydney somewhere. I've got no idea where. I don't care where it is, but Eels and Dragons, trial game, 6 o'clock Sunday night. Sam, who wins this one and by how much?
So it's a doubleheader out at CommBank Stadium with Sharks and Panthers and Eels and Dragons. The Eels have named a squad, and Reid Marnie will be playing. It's actually an interesting spine that they've got. And Jordan Rankin is actually playing at 5'8".
He's alive.
Yeah, exactly. And Jake Arthur's playing at halfback as well for Parramatta when the Dragon squad is yet to be announced. Just looking at it, I'm going to go for Parramatta Eels 1-12. And I'll go Penasini. Is Penasini? I'll go Will Penasini to score a try.
CJ, who wins this one and by how much?
I'm going Eels by 10. I don't know the Dragons team, but from my understanding, the Eels have named Reid Marnie. They've also named Sean Lane, who will be captaining the side this weekend. I'm going for the Eels by 10 points, mate.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go the Eels by 18. I think they'll be too good at home. Eels at CommBank is just a different beast, isn't it? So Eels will win by about 18 points, I reckon. Dragons haven't named their team. Don't even know who's playing, so I'm going the Eels by 18. ProEnzo, who wins this one and by how much?
I'll go Para by about 10 points, I think. Penasini is to score a try anytime as well, so I think Para to win.
Yeah, I think we all agree that the Eels will win against the Dragons at CommBank. And the final one, how good this, boys? Monday night, 7 o'clock. So if you're working or if you're at school or if whatever you're doing on Monday, don't get angry at night, boys, because you'll have the trial game to look forward to here. Monday night, kick your feet up, have a nice cold beverage, have a Coca-Cola, take it easy with some fucking twisties or something. Knights and the Dogs trial game. This should be interesting. It should be entertaining. Sam, who wins this game and by how much?
Yeah, man. This one's coming to us from McDonald Jones Stadium. Knights have not announced a squad yet. Canterbury have. Matt Duffy has been named to play, and I'll go him as an anytime try scorer for the Bulldogs to win 1-12, actually.
CJ?
I'm going Dogs 13+. I think they're absolutely going to give it to the Knights on Monday night. They have named their big stars like Flanagan, Pangai Jr., Duffy and Vaughan, and I'm going to back Pangai Jr. for a double. Dogs by 16 points.
Wow. I'm going to go the Bulldogs by 8. Kyle Flanagan, 3 try assists.
Yo.
He needs to have a big game, bro. If he wants to be in that Bulldogs team, if he wants to be the Bulldogs halfback this year,
this game's important for Flanagan, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, it's very important for Flanagan because he needs to try and get into the side. So I'm going Dogs by 8, Kyle Flanagan, 3 try assists. What about you, Lorenzo? Who wins this one?
Dogs 1-12 and Duffy scored try.
Short and sweet, just how I like it. All right, so there the NRL trial games done for the week. Let's get into the round of Super League, lads. Oh, there's some big games this weekend in the Super Leagues. Some absolute crackers. But let me just get it up on the screen here. Bear with me. Give me 1 second. Super League, round 2. It's going to be fucking fantastic. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Super League round 2 preview. All right. It all kicks off on Friday morning, 7 a.m. New South Wales time. It is the Warrington Wolves up against the Castleford Tigers. Warrington are $1.25 favourites. Castleford at $4. This is at Warrington's home ground. First home game of the year for the Wire. Sam, who wins this game and by how much?
Dude, I saw some of the highlights. I saw all the highlights from all the games over the weekend, and Castleford Tigers defense, bloody hell. I'm going to go Warrington Wolves, man, for sure. I think they'll probably win this one 13 plus, not overly dramatic, something like a 30 points to 10 scoreline, man.
Yeah, sounds good. CJ, Warrington or Castleford? It's pretty obvious who you're going for.
The Wire's on fire. Castleford's defense is terrified is going to be the sum up of the game. I think Warrington by 20, 32-12. Josh Charnley, 2 tries. Get around it. Warrington all the way. Castleford, get stuffed up the Wire.
Well, make sure you tell me on Friday morning when I throw my bets on to get Charnley double. I'll throw some money on that on Friday morning. I'm going to go Warrington by 18. Oliver Holmes got suspended too, which sucks, but I'm going to go Ben Curry first try score. Warrington by 18. ProEnzo, who wins this one and by how much?
Yeah, mate, I'll be tipping the Warrington will win, the Wire. I think they'll win by about 12 points, and I'm backing Stephen Ratchford for a try.
Well, we're all going Warrington, and I think we all agree they'll win the game very comfortably on Friday morning. Now, Saturday morning, 7 a.m. kickoff here in New South Wales. Wigan versus Leeds. In my opinion, it's the game of the round. This is being played at Wigan's home ground, the DW Stadium. Wigan, $1.55 favourites. Leeds Rhinos, $2.50. This is a very tough game for me to pick. I don't even know which way to go. It's so hard to pick. Sam, who wins this one and by how much?
That sounds like a fair bit of good value on the Leeds Rhinos, mate. I thought it'd be something like $1.90 a piece. Wigan Warriors certainly looked good against Hull KR, who looked flat themselves, but we'll get into Hull KR soon. Look, I really want to believe in Wigan, mate, but no, I'm going to go with the away team, Leeds Rhinos. They'll win 1-12. I think this could very much be a thriller.
Well, Blake Austin's back from suspension, so Leeds will have – Aiden Caesar will have a bit more support this weekend. It's hard to judge Leeds off last week too because they played about 65 minutes with 12 men because James Bentley got sent off, and then another spin happened. So at one point they're down to 11 men. So and plus Leeds led for a long time against Warrington, who had 13-12, but 13-11 at some point. So it's hard to really get a read on Leeds going into it. But CJ, Wigan or Leeds, and give us a margin.
I'm tipping the Rhinos here. Leeds by 8 points. It's obviously going to be close. I think it's going to be a very dramatic ending. Whether it ends in an 8-point try maybe or something like that. God. It's going to go down to an absolute wire. Blake Austin's first game back, in the Super League and his Leeds debut. I'm going Leeds by 8, 20 points to 12. Anytime try scorer. Get on the man himself, Blake Austin.
I'm going to go Wigan, boys, but I'm going to go Wigan by 1 in Golden Point.
Ooh.
I think the people that go to the DW Stadium on Friday night over there, Saturday morning over here, I think they're going to be staying for a bit of extra time. I think this game is going to Golden Point, and I reckon Cade Cuss will kick the field goal to win it. Wigan by 1, and Cade Cuss will kick the field goal to win it. Wigan will win by 1 in Golden Point. What about you, ProEnzo? Who wins this one, Wigan or Leeds, and by how much?
I'll be tipping Leeds. I want to tip Wigan because I think they were good last week against Hull KR. This time I think Leeds will bounce back from a loss and then they'll win by about maybe 6 points, I think.
Should be a great game. I'm looking forward to that on Saturday morning. Be a big one. Looking forward to it. All right. Saturday night, 11:30 p.m. New South Wales time. It is the Black and Whites, Hull FC, up against St Helens. This game is being played on Channel 4 over in the UK. I believe that there is a live stream that you can get in Australia to watch this. So, Hull FC versus St Helens. Saints are $1.20 favourites here. Hull FC, $4.35. No Jake Connor. Chris Sarte, I believe, is not playing. This is going to be very interesting to see how Hull FC go against Saints. Sam, who wins this one and by how much?
What beautiful odds on Hull FC. Very lovely odds. Put $150 on Hull FC to get the victory against St. Helens. And it wasn't it good to see Joe Love on wasn't it good to see Joe Love get a try on debut as well?
It was good.
So I'll back him again. I'll get him to go back to back, Joe Love and if Hull FC win, it will be, oh man, it'll be a pretty big win for him. So 1-12.
It's going to be very interesting, this one. I'm going to go St. Helens by 40. Saints by 40. This won't be close.
Well, I hope so.
This is going to be a flogging, man. Leeds, Hull FC got way too many players out. Saints, they put fucking 20 on Catalan. Would have been 30 if it wasn't for the poor goal kicking. Saints looking far too good. And look, I've said this before. You can't win without your best players, and you need your best players against the best side. So Saints by 40. This won't be close. CJ, what'd you say, bro?
The best side. So.
I said St. Helens by 26 points.
Yeah,
40 to 14. Will Hopper-Wade double.
Oh, fuck. Interesting. ProEnzo, I don't even need to ask you this, but Saints by how much for you, bro?
Yeah, well, that's pretty obvious. Saints to win by about 20 points. And I think Tony Mackinson will score a try. I think him will score a try and we'll win. So.
Yep. All right. Sounds good. All right. Sunday morning. Let's get to the next one, which is this game is not on TV, unfortunately. I reckon this would be a good one to have on TV. Sunday morning, 2 a.m. So basically Saturday night going into Sunday morning. It is the Huddersfield Giants up against Hull Kingston Rovers. Huddersfield at $1.56 favourites, or $1.55 favourites, I should say. Hull KR $2.45. This has been played at Huddersfield's home ground there, the John Smith Stadium. This is a really hard game for me to pick. I think it's a flip of the coin. Sam, who wins this one and by how much?
Yeah, it's just based off on highlights alone, man. Huddersfield, they had some early points put on them from a very fired up Toulouse, but that was to be expected. And the way that they just turned the screws, man, early in that first half and all throughout the second half was kind of impressive, albeit I only watched the highlights. And for Hull KR, man, to come out as flat as what they did last weekend, I've said dozens of times on this show, man, I akin round one football to be of the same level of intensity of semi-final football, man. You want to get off onto the right foot. I'm going to go Huddersfield Giants to win a thriller, 1-12, probably a 22-18 scoreline to Huddersfield Giants, man.
Interesting. What about you, CJ? Who wins this one? By how much?
I'm going for the Rovers, Hull KR. I think I'm going to agree with Sam. I'm going to go Hull KR by 4 points. It's going to be a thriller. I think it's going to be low scoring, 14-10. And I think Lachlan Coote will want to make a statement and he'll get a try on.
I'm going Hull KR because Huddersfield beat the shit out of a terrible Toulouse team. Hull KR were complacent against Wigan. Hull KR, I think their defense will improve a bit. I think their attack will also get better. If Hull KR's attack gets better, then I think they'll win. Huddersfield beat the fuck out of a shit Toulouse team, and they were down 10-0 as well. So you can't get a read on Huddersfield. So I'm going to go Hull KR by 7. And, yeah, look, I'm very confident Hull KR will win this. I'm pretty confident they'll win. So Hull KR by 7 against the Giants on Sunday morning. ProEnzo, Vidz, who wins this game and by how much?
Yeah, well, in my video, I tipped Hull FC to win. Hull to win. So KR will win. The Rovers will win by about 6. And, yeah, that's my tip. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game, this one. All right, let's get into the next one, which is on, I believe it's Sunday morning as well. Let me just get a quick confirm that. Good Lord. Sunday morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, this game kicks off New South Wales time. This game is also on Fox League and on KO. 4 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, Catalans and Wakefield. Catalans are $1.10 favourites. Wakefield at $7. Catalans were terrible last week, but obviously they're back at home now, and obviously got a few out. Wakefield were very brave. They were very brave against Hull FC, but they just didn't have the class to get over the line against Hull FC. Sam, who wins this one and by how much?
Yeah, mate. Catalans Dragons to win 13 plus. And I reckon Mitchell Pearce will make it like an odd score line as well, like a 37-6 score line, man, for Catalans Dragons.
Yeah, I like it. What about you, CJ? Who wins this one and by how much?
Catalans by 40 points. I'm going 50-10. I think Catalans are going to put 50 on them at the Stade Gilbert Stadium, however it is. They're back in France, and I'm going to back Sam Tompkins for a double.
Yeah, I'm with you. Catalans will have a big win here. I reckon they'll win by, I don't know, probably 24 points or something. And Fuad Yaha on the wing, he'll get a hat-trick. He'll get a hat-trick this week. He scored a nice try against Saints the opening game last week. I think Yaha will get a hat-trick. Catalans by 24. ProEnzo, who wins this one and by how much?
Yeah, I think Catalans should win easy. I think Catalans will win by about 24. And yeah, I think they'll be too good for Toulouse. Toulouse is going to be, having a bad loss. So I think Catalans to win.
Yeah. With you, Catalans are going to have a really big win on Sunday morning. And the final game of the round, this game is being played Monday morning, kicks off at 2 o'clock in the morning. It is my team, the Salford Red Devils, up against Toulouse. Salford, $1.05 favourites. Toulouse, $8.50. Salford had a great win over Castleford last week there at the Jungle. Toulouse got embarrassed by Huddersfield, especially in that second half. Salford at home at the AJ Bell Stadium. This is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to this. I really am keen for this game. Obviously, as a Salford fan, come on, you Red Devils. Let's get the job done over Toulouse. Sam, who wins this one and by how much?
Salford Red Devils to win 13 plus. Something akin to a 26 points to 12 score line, mate.
Yeah, all right. I'll be disappointed if we can say 12 against Toulouse, to be honest. But
No.
I'll take it. That'll be a good result for us. What about you, TJ? Who wins this one and by how much?
I'm going for Salford by 32 points. I'm going 38-6. Tim Lafayette and Brody Croft to score a double each.
Oh, fascinating. I'm going to go Salford by 40. I reckon Croft and Dan Soderson will both get a double. I reckon Croft will get a double as well. I'm with you. Salford by 40. This will be a bloodbath. This game will be over at halftime. I'm telling you right now. And ProEnzo Vidz, who wins this one between Salford and Toulouse?
Salford by 16, and I think Brody Croft actually will score a try as well, so I agree.
Yeah, I think Salford will have a really, really big win over the shit cunts known as Toulouse, but we'll see how that game goes about. All right, lads. I reckon I might wrap it up, eh? I reckon it's been a really good podcast time. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you very much for having me again.
No problem, fellas. Well, make sure you guys go and
thanks.
check out the YouTube channels of ProEnzo, Vidz, Sam Revel, and CJ Moxley. The links to their YouTube channels are in the description below. But guys, it's been a great Rugby League Breakdown podcast, episode 37. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a fantastic show tonight. Everyone, like and subscribe. We're getting out of here, guys. Have a fantastic night, and we'll see you guys in the next one.